Hello, everyone, and welcome to our April full moon meditation. We always start off with a quote, but first of all, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm B, and I've been so fortunate to be able to help MC these monthly meditations since the beginning of the year. And what I like to do is we always start off with a quote to kind of help inspire you with regards to your meditation practice. So today's theme is world peace through inner peace. Better you means a better world. So with that, I picked one of my favorite quotes, which is true victory. And this is how it goes. These quotes are actually written by our abbot, Mongpa Tamacheo, and they're all very inspiring and profound when it comes to inner wisdom. So this one is true victory. The one who wins the inner battle is the real brave heart, as a true battle is inside, not outside. We have to fight against our own greed, anger, and delusion, as they cause problems to ourselves and the world. If we move through the suffering and darkness that lies within, the world will be in peace and victory will be within us. So I thought that was very relevant for today's theme. Um, with regards to our teaching monk, who's going to be guiding our meditation tonight and our wisdom talk, it's Monk Daniel. A couple of things about Monk Daniel is he actually, at the age of 16, he promised his mother that he was going to ordain. He kept that promise at the age of 20, which when he did ordain, he made a dedication to study, practice, and develop his meditation technique. He's been a monk since 2012 until present, and he's dedicated his life to meditation practice and also sharing this inner wisdom with everyone so they can find inner light within. So, with that, today we're going to have a wisdom talk, which Monk Daniel will be um, giving to us, in addition to a guided meditation. Afterwards, we'll have the candlelight um, as well, a candlelight offering in addition to loving kindness, and then Q&A at the end. So Q&A starts at 10 o'clock. We normally do about half an hour, ideally. Hopefully you'll be able to have really good questions that will help you with regards to your meditation practice, anything that you're wondering about meditation. And I promise you, there is no bad question because everyone benefits. Because if you're thinking it, someone else probably is as well. So with that, I'm going to be welcoming Monk Daniel. He is in Thailand. So let's just fingers crossed everything goes well. We don't have any connection issues. We generally do not, but every now and again we do. So if we do, please be patient with us. But we should be okay today. So with that, Monk Daniel, we are ready for you. Pete.
Good morning, good evening to everyone in America, but good morning from Thailand. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to see everyone. Hopefully, everyone's day and tonight will be very peaceful, just like the full moon will be full of happiness and brightness. So, yes, I love the quote that our wonderful moderator, Miss B, just gave to us about conquering our mind, which is the true victory, where we can find our inner happiness, our inner brightness. This is the most important thing that we need to put into our life, which will connect to today. A lot of people don't realize that when we take care of our mind and take care of ourselves from within, it's actually going to help the world. And sometimes we may see or feel like, how can I have an impact on the world? Or how can just one person make the world a better place? So I wanted to expand on that a little bit so you can be inspired not only to change yourself from within, but also to help make this world a better place, one person at a time. So let's get into today's topic. So a better you creates a better world. Why is that? Because if we love ourselves, the rest will follow. Or when we put our mind in the right place, as our master would say, Lumpha, he would say that if we put our mind in the right place, or another way of saying it is, if you put your mind in the right place, the rest of your life will fall into place. Or he would say that if your mind is at ease, your mind is relaxed, everything will be achieved easily. And if your mind is at the center of the body, everything will be successful even easier. So this is something that we need to really put into practice, to take the time to check yourself, to make sure that how are you feeling? Are you ready? Are you positive? And I think today is a great example, or tonight, with the full moon, because it's the brightest night of the month. Even though it's nighttime and the moon is surrounded by darkness, the moon still shines. The full moon still shines. Maybe we may not see it right now if it's cloudy, but it's shining. And tonight is the brightest night of the month. And the reason for that is because why? The moon shines because the sun spreads its brightness to it. Right? I read that the moon is only bright because it reflects the sun like at a minimum like 3%. but it can still shine as bright as it is tonight. So we can use the moon and also the sun as an example that I wanted to talk about today. So the sun and the moon have a good relationship, and we can apply that to our life and as an example. Because just like the moon receives the brightness from the sun, it also spreads that brightness to the world, making the sun helps to make the day bright and the moon helps to make the night bright. So I want to start from the sun first before we come back to the moon. The sun is great because it creates its brightness from within, right? It gets its source of brightness from within. And once it has that source of brightness, it has the power to warm our planet, give it growth, make things grow. Like as we go into spring now, right, with the new season, creating growth, creating warmth for everyone and everything in the world. Not just our world, the whole universe and all the galaxies, the brightness of the sun spreads out. Even in times of darkness, as we can see, when there's a storm, when it's rainy out, it doesn't mean that the sun stops shining. The clouds may be covering it, making us not be able to see its brightness, but it's still shining, no matter the situation, no matter the storm. And another thing about the sun is when it's surrounded by darkness in space, right? It's surrounded completely by a vast darkness, but that darkness can't overcome its brightness. Actually, its brightness overcomes the darkness and it gives life to our planet and spreads its light throughout the universe. So you may see a pattern here that when you find your own source of brightness or happiness from within, like the sun does, whenever we have obstacles in our life, whenever we have dark moments, which we will all have, when your mind is clear and bright, it can overcome all that darkness. It can overcome all the obstacles that we encounter as long as we maintain our source of happiness, our source of brightness from within. We can be just like the sun, giving warmth, growth to not only yourself, but also to everyone around you, everyone around you. So just a tip that I would like us to practice also is that throughout your day or throughout your life, we all encounter negative situations, people, whatever it may be, and that impacts our mind a lot. So what we have to practice after we learn about meditation is to escape from the black clouds and experience your inner sun, meaning that we don't linger in the darkness too long. When you have a negative emotion, which we will all have, and the benefit from meditation is you will develop the habit of letting go and getting out of that bad emotion quicker, being able to be aware and mindful of that and be able to switch modes quicker so we don't linger in the darkness. And just like the sun, even though it may be dark, we can still stay shining. And eventually those black clouds will disappear and we can stay with our inner sun, our inner brightness, our inner happiness that's from within us. So just a tip is don't linger in the negativity. Don't, the longer we linger in it, the longer we linger in the darkness, it's gonna impact our mind more and more. So we need to learn how to switch modes as quickly as possible. So the way we do that is we need to harness the energy from within, find our inner sun from within, find that source of happiness and maintain that brightness for yourself and for not only for yourself, but also for everyone around you. So we need to be able to find your inner smile, as I put it as well, and relight that inner sun before you do anything in your life and make it a habit. A lot of times, the reason why I call it the inner smile, and sometimes our brightness within, our inner sun that we all have, actually, it may have went out and we don't have the opportunity to relight it. So before you do anything, we need to practice ourselves to make sure that, can you smile to yourself? Can you smile to others? Sometimes we can't, I know. And this is a good homework to practice, to check yourself. How is your mind? Did you lose your smile? Did you lose your brightness from within? If so, we need to, that's a red flag for yourself to go and meditate, to find that smile from within again, and also to relight that inner happiness, that inner brightness, that inner sun before you do anything. So just like a simple tip is, when you wake up in the morning, or before we start our day, or throughout the day, when we need to take a moment to pause, to find your smile and relight that sun within before you do anything. And then you're going to be automatically want to smile not only to yourself, but to the people around you. And also, you may even smile to everything. You may smile to your uh, everything surrounding you, whether it's you see the sun shining in the sky and you smile and you are grateful that the sun's there. Or you see uh, maybe there's traffic, you still smile because your mind is at peace from within. So why does this create a better world? Because you become just like the sun. If you have that happiness within yourself, that brightness within yourself, it's going to shine out of you. Whether or not you want to keep it within, it's going to happen automatically. You're going to want to smile automatically, and you're going to be positive to the people around you automatically and naturally. And actually in Buddhism, we talk about there's like 6 directions that we have a sphere of influence around us, whether it's our parents, our friends, our associates. Everyone impacts at least 6 people or more in your life. So it's not just you that's changing, but the people around you that you influence. So when your mind is clear and bright, you become that sun in many people's lives, spreading your warmth, spreading your growth, and helping other people develop around you as well, not just you. So when your brightness disappears, it doesn't only disappear for yourself, but also for the people around you. So I would like to have us keep that in mind, that you actually make a big difference, not just only to you, but also to the world. And the thing that we need to realize is that when we still the mind, every time we still the mind, every session that we practice, when we still the mind, it begins to change. It begins to change within us and also to the world. But for us, once we still the mind, what happens is we create a positive mind. We also have positive speech, positive action, positive habit. And through that positivity becoming a habit, it will create a positive destiny, not only for yourself, and help to make this world a better place. Because when you are positive, it's just like Paul would say, world peace through inner peace, which means all people in this world have a part to play. It's not just one country, it's not just one person in power. We all have a part to play. And if we all still the mind, it will begin that change. It's something that we all have the power to help to make happen. As we can say that if you have if you still the mind from within, it's going to help to change yourself first. And that brightness will go to others. And bit by bit, that brightness will spread from one person, one family, and then to the community. And it'll keep growing as long as we all take responsibility for ourselves to maintain our mind, to get rid of the greed, delusion, and anger and other negativities in our minds. Only then can we actually make true change to not only ourselves, the people around us, and the environment. So we need to take it easy and treat meditation just like we would do anything else in our life. Take a shower, clean our body, look after ourselves physically. Now we also have to look after ourselves mentally, and take it easy and do it as simply and as a habit, just like we would take a shower or just like we would exercise and look after our physical self. Now we need to take a step forward and also look after your mental health. And just to remind ourselves that the door of happiness opens from within. So all we have to do now is to close our eyes, relax your body and your mind. And by relaxing your body and your mind, our mind will calm down, it'll be still, and we will have the key to open the door from within, which is simply just to relax. And when we are relaxed with both body and mind, we're going to understand this, that the door of happiness opens from within. A lot of us have been searching for it from around us, but hopefully tonight we can get a glimpse of that happiness from within by closing your eyes and just relaxing your body and calming your mind. So we can go back and check ourselves right now if we have a low battery or not, or how is our happiness feeling right now? How is our happy meter? If it's not full, that's no problem. We can fill it together in just a moment. And also just to keep in mind for yourself going forward that try to be aware of how you're feeling throughout the day and make sure that you are full battery. Just like our life, we don't really like to let our phone run out of battery or our technology run out of battery. But why do we allow ourselves, our mental health, our physical health to run out of battery? So right now, more than ever, we need to be more aware of our mental health, our inner brightness, our inner happiness, and keep it charged. And for right now, if we haven't kept it charged, no problem. Let's charge it together. Before we start, all we need to use right now is basically to take it easy, take it slow, and then feel the balance. We need to find the balance from within us. We can find that balance with just two words that we have to focus on right now is to be conscious, but with comfort. So that means whatever we do, whatever method we're using in just a moment after we relax our body, relax our mind, is make sure those two things are in balance, where we feel both conscious, but also we have comfort. This is actually key. And if you understand this finding this balance, you have mastered meditation to a certain degree already, because it's not just about being mindful, but it's also about being relaxed every step of the way in your meditation. These two things need to go together. So hopefully together we can practice just a moment now, and we have a chance to be both like the sun and also like the full moon, meaning that the sun creates its brightness from within, making the day bright. The moon receives that brightness and it shares it to the world, making the night bright as well. So we should be both like the moon and the sun, finding our brightness from within. And once we find that brightness, that happiness from within, we need to spread it not only to ourselves, but also to the people around us. So I'd like to invite all of us to meditate together so we can be both like the moon and the sun and find our source of happiness, our inner brightness from within together. So before we start, I would like to invite everyone to take it easy, take it slow, and no need to rush. Take a moment right now to adjust your body, make sure that you are comfortable before we switch modes into meditation together. So let's take it easy. There's no need to rush. Meditation is about finding the balance between being conscious with comfort. So that starts from the moment we adjust the body right now. Being nice and gentle, taking the time to adjust our body first, making sure that we can find a comfortable position, whether we're sitting on the floor or in a chair. And once we found that comfortable position that works for us, the key word is it works for you. Every person, every session, it's different. Once you feel comfortable, you can slowly and gently close your eyes, naturally, as if you're about to go to sleep. Because right now is our opportunity to not only rest our body, but to truly rest our mind. And that process has already begun. The moment we take the time to relax our body and calm our mind, the process of meditation has already begun. Our journey to find our source of happiness has already started. All we need to do now is to relax our body, making sure every single part, from our eyes, our face, all the way down to our feet, making sure every single part of our body is relaxed, is loose. We can simply do that by taking a deep breath, breathing in deeply and exhaling slowly. Allowing the relaxation to fill up our whole body. Flowing down from our head and throughout. Breathing in deeply, exhaling slowly. Allowing any hidden tension to melt away. Allowing the relaxation to cover us as we feel more relaxed within us. Even as we exhale, allowing that relaxation to surround us The more we relax our body, the more weightless our body will become as our body begins to melt away gradually, bit by bit. This is the power of simply relaxing. It helps us to let go physically first. And as we continue with that feeling of relaxation, our mind will begin to let go as well. All we need to do now is to allow our mind to put everything aside, any thoughts, any responsibilities. Just put everything aside. We invest so much time. We have so much love to give to everything and everyone. But now allow yourself this time. Give some of that love to yourself so we can have the opportunity to find our happiness from within first. Everything that we are planning or want to become better, it will happen automatically, easier and smoother after we make sure that our mind is clear and bright, just like the full moon tonight, making sure our mind is full of positivity, full of happiness. But to help us get to that source, we can start by using any method we like. By placing our mind wherever we feel relaxed, whether it's inside of us, at the center, or anywhere you like, as well as using a method that is easy for you to use, whether it's to visualize an image softly and gently, whether it's the full moon, the sun, a star. We can imagine it however we like, anywhere we like, as long as it helps us to feel conscious as well as comfortable. Don't worry about the clarity, as long as it helps us to stay relaxed. Some of us may find it easy to use the mantra instead. repeating softly and gently in their mind, Samma Araham, Samma Araham, Samma Araham. Samma means purity. Araham means freedom. So almost every time we can imagine, every time we repeat the mantra in our mind, it's helping our mind to become more pure, more clear, and free from any negativity, any darkness that may be lingering in our mind. Or some of us may enjoy just letting go, relaxing, doing nothing. Actually, whether we use the visualization or the mantra, we will all get to this point. We'll get to a point of where the mantra or the visualization will disappear on its own. And that's because we've got to the point of where we feel for ourselves, where we feel that we just want to let go. We are free to just be still, to let it be. When we get to this point, we will feel it for ourselves. Trust yourself. Trust your feeling. As long as you feel relaxed physically and your mind feels more calm, more relaxed, we are on the right path. Before we know it, we will get to that source of happiness within us. That door of happiness that opens from within. We have the key the moment we closed our eyes. The more we relax our body, the more we calm our mind. Our mind will become still. Our mind will stop. And the moment our mind stops, our inner happiness will begin. First as a feeling, a feeling of calm, of contentment. Almost like a spark, like a star as we continue to relax, take it easy, that feeling will grow and expand as the clouds of our mind will begin to disappear, revealing the full moon shining within us. It starts from a feeling, and before we know it, not only will we feel it, we will also see it and experience that source of happiness from within more deeply. But for now, as long as you feel relaxed, we feel conscious and calm together. Every second that passes by, every moment matters. Every moment counts. Our mind is becoming clearer, brighter, more positive. We have everything we need to succeed in our meditation. Just continue with this feeling, allowing it to grow. Just enjoy this meditation together in silence. is more calm. Now that our mind is more clear and bright, let's take a moment to light the candle. Light the candle in front of us, as now we found our light from within. We can slowly and gently light our candle.
At this time, we invite everyone to turn on their camera, show us your pretty faces so that we can all see each other. So now we've lit the candle on the outside. Let's continue to keep our candle, keep our brightness on the inside by continuing to relax our body, to calm our mind. Now that we have found our source of brightness from within,
Now that we have taken the time to become more full of happiness, of positivity, let's take a moment to spread our love and kindness, our forgiveness. Spread it just like the full moon, allowing the darkness to disappear, lighting up the night. Don't let the ugliness of others or of the world destroy the beauty within us. Now that we have found our inner smile, we should spread it to ourselves, smiling to yourself and continuing to smile and spread your positivity. Spread your good intentions by wishing to your family, your loved ones, your friends, wishing for everyone to be healthy, to be happy, allowing the positivity within you to spread out to everyone and to everything. We all have a part to play, just like all the stars in the sky help to make the night more beautiful. Every moment of peace within you right now, every moment that you share it, will help to light up and brighten this world, both in times of darkness and in times of brightness, to become even more and more bright. So take a moment to spread your happiness, your love and kindness to everything, to everyone. As we spread this positivity, we may not see the change right away, but we'll feel it within us first. And now that our mind is positive, now that our mind is clear and bright, now that our mind is in the right place, everything else in our life will fall into place more easily and more smoothly. Sapphe Patta Palapatta Pache Ganang Jayang Palang Arahantana Te Sherakang Pantami Sapaso Sapaputta Nupavena Sapatama Nupavena Sapasangha Nupavena Satasoti Pawantu Te. By the power of our clear and bright mind and the positivity generated within us in this meditation, bless our life to be more happy, more peaceful. And when we are ready, we may slowly and gently open our eyes, opening our eyes to a more better version of ourselves and a more better world.
Thank you, Venerable Daniel. That was very, very peaceful and very calming and beautiful meditation, always. So before we transition over to the Q&A, Venerable, did you have something you want to say before I do announcements? Okay.
Yeah, just before we continue, as you're also announcing, but as well as I would also like to check everyone if you are at home or if you're available to, if you can check yourself for how do you feel, and please share it not only as a word form but as an easy form, maybe 1 to 5 on a scale for yourself. How do you feel from the meditation? And please share it into the chat, as well as if you have any initial or any further comments or experiences, please also share. Thank you so much, and I would like to pass the mic back to Miss B.
Thank you, Venerable. Yeah, that's a very cute slide. I like that. Okay, so yeah, if you can share your experience for Monk Daniel there, and also we'll transition to Q&A shortly as well, if you want to talk about your experience or if you have any questions. So a couple of announcements, everyone. Please mark your calendar. We've got a big announcement coming. April 22nd is Earth Day, and it is actually a recognized day around the world. It's also our Master Abbot Longpa Tamachayo's birthday, which falls on the same day, amazingly enough. So there are no such thing as coincidences. There you go, April 22nd. Please join us, as it is a very special day for all of us, not only appreciating the earth, but also for our community. It's a great way to give back to the world in our own way, or the earth, and also a way to show gratitude for our teacher who's given us this meditation practice. So we are hoping to have as many people on the call as possible, because, you know, it's really world peace through inner peace. And with all of us coming together in different parts of the world, it's even more power, and it's a great way of just thanking the earth. So please join us on April 22nd. And two, you can always download our app as well, MindGem, which you can get on iOS or iPhone. And we send out notifications and reminders so that you're definitely up to date on all of our activities and our meditation events. So with that, another event that I want to go ahead and just um, share with everyone so that you have it way in advance is our next full moon meditation in May. I know that's a long time away, but time goes by so quickly. That's one thing that's for sure. And so we'll quickly be getting to May 16th. Right around the corner. So it's going to be Monday, May 16th, again for Earth Day meditation and the May full moon meditation as well. It's the same time zone. We don't change it. So if you're in Pacific, it's going to be 6 o'clock. If you're in Mountain Time, it's 7. Central is 8, and Eastern is 9. So that's an easy way. We keep things consistent. Also, we do have an awesome meditation website for everyone to visit, and this will help you be connected to your closest center. It's tamaggayameditation.org. In addition, with just learning more about our meditation technique and meditating with your closest center, you can find out that information with regards to location from that website as well. All right. A couple of other things. Yeah, there you go. All of the centers are there. Most of our centers right now are actually open to the public. So as you can see, Meditation Center of Chicago, Azusa, I believe we've got a couple of different centers that actually have on-site meditation as well for the full moon meditation. So they actually invite people close by to come and meditate and listen to these sessions with our guided monk teaching, but coming together at one location. So depending on where you're at, you can definitely look at the website and learn more about your nearest center as well. And then that pretty much sums it up in terms of our announcements. Yeah, again, we've got 2 websites. One is tamaggayameditation.org, and that will help you locate your nearest center in addition to just learning more about our meditation technique. And then MindGym, there's a website for that, or you can easily just download it as well onto your phone to stay connected to our meditation teachers, notifications, and events. So yeah. And then in addition to our upcoming events, everything can be found on our website and our app. All right. So with that, let's transition over to Q&A with Monk Daniels. We're going to ask him to come back on. And it looks like we might already have a question, which is awesome. So if you have any questions for our teaching monk, this is a great time to ask anything that has to do with your own experience that you want to share, maybe even how to better your own meditation experience. This is definitely a great opportunity to ask his advice. So with that, looks like we do have someone who raised their hand, Mr. Tom Wood. So if we can spotlight Mr. Wood so that he can ask his question, or you can also, oh yeah, can the admin please type out the link for one of our users asking Tamagaya Meditation I think it's .org and then mindgym.org. Okay, so is he still there? I think he disappeared. Ah, there we go. Thank you, Kunsit. Excellent. So yeah, feel free to either raise your hand and we'll spotlight you, or you can ask your question via chat as well. This is a great time to take advantage of our teaching monk who has a lot of inner experience and guidance for any question you might have. So it looks like we kind of have a little quiet bunch today, Venerable. Normally these questions are kind of flowing through.
Do you have a question?
Yeah. Or want to share your meditation experience?
Or if anyone would like to share their experience other than the initial 5 or 4, or, please feel free so we can check each other and I can help you. Just make sure your meditation's on the right path or any tips I could give you as well. But anyway, on this scale, if you have a 3 and an up, you're very good. Even if you felt neutral, that's a very good starting point for anyone who just meditated a moment ago. So don't be discouraged if you didn't feel like super happy or super blissful, but just a moment of where you feel neutral is actually a very good starting point. And um, from that neutrality, it means that your mind is in balance and just stay relaxed. And before you know it, it's going to increase. So, okay, we have a question from.
Yeah, so Venerable, actually, there was one earlier that they're starting to come through, so I was paying attention. The first question, which is if we scroll up, but I have it right here. The question is, when we are in pain, how can we meditate?
uh, when we have pain, actually, myself included, sometimes when I first ordained, I was 20 and I grew up in America. So sitting on the floor, sitting in meditation position, like the standard one, it could be painful for me. And also, like physically, more pain than that. I had some knee surgery. So I also had problems physically when I first started. So there's a couple ways to deal with it. So great question. The first way is a lot of times we can't completely get rid of the pain in because physically we have some limitations. But the best thing we can do initially is to adjust yourself to be as comfortable as you can. And when we meditate and close our eyes, it's like a race between the pain and the calmness. So if we can get to the calmness first by using the mantra and using the visualization to kind of take our focus off, it can help us to win over that pain that we may feel like. It depends on the level of pain too, okay? And another thing is if you feel pain throughout the meditation, like where it's distracting to us to a big degree, I would recommend you just to adjust your position. And sometimes if I felt like a really overwhelming pain when I'm sitting, sometimes I just get up and walk around and still meditate, but in a walking position or in a different position until you feel that pain kind of dissipate, and then you can continue again when that pain goes away. So actually, it depends a lot on the level of pain. I don't know if I could ask you how severe it is, and it can also give you some more tips. But uh, if it's not super painful, we can adjust the way I just mentioned. Hopefully that gives you an idea. It doesn't. If you have, everyone has. It doesn't mean that if you feel pain, you can't meditate well. You can. It can be a little bit difficult, but we can overcome it in different ways.
So Venerable, there is a comment that I feel like is definitely something I wanted to share with you. It's from Jesse. Jesse states that beginning session was awesome for a short time. This person saw brightness within, and yeah, so it was very lovely. That's what came from Jesse.
Mm.
Um, are you ready for the next question, Venerable?
Actually, oh, thank you, Jesse, for sharing. And yes, you can. When
Okay.
your mind is more calm, more peaceful, like I mentioned during the meditation, we may experience it first by a feeling, but if we continue with that feeling, we may encounter something more profound, as Jesse mentioned, where we can not only feel the purity of our mind, that we will also be able to see and experience it more. But
So
for yeah, sorry.
Oh, the next question, Venerable, is, and I think this is a good one. Actually, every question is always a good one, but this one is, what can you do when you find that it's hard to motivate yourself to meditate, and you find that it's actually like boring? What can you do to motivate yourself?
The thing that I find that if we practice uh, when we practice in the right method, the word bored will disappear. So we have to be a little bit observant of ourselves, that are we practicing correctly and just truly relaxing our body and relaxing our mind, and treat it like don't treat it as meditation, treat it as a time to rest your body and your mind. and you're gonna find that the boredom will disappear because we need to rest our body, rest our mind often. And if you don't feel motivated to meditate, I like to think of the benefits a lot to myself to motivate me to meditate is to think of that, okay, I want, if my mind is clear and bright, I can achieve and do everything more efficiently. So I use that to motivate myself sometimes when maybe I don't have the drive in the beginning, and I try to think of the benefits and how can that impact not only myself, but how can it also impact the people I care about and love. For example, one way I motivate myself is like we've all made mistakes in the past. We've all hurt the people that we care about, right? And maybe we don't want to repeat those mistakes. And the best way we can do that is to look after our mind. So to motivate yourself to see the impact it doesn't have, not only does it have for yourself, but also the people around you. So that's one way to for me to motivate myself as well.
Hmm. Thank you, Long P. I really like that because, I think that's probably a common thing, especially if you meditate daily, that, sometimes you have to really think about the reason why you're doing it to kind of inspire you to do it consistently. And if you kind of see the bigger picture of why meditation is so profound and important, and the more you study it, the more the more you're going to be committed because, it does start to make sense. One of my teachers used to always say, and it was a little far-fetched at the time, but now I actually agree, he said that you're born to meditate. So if you start to realize that there's some truth in that, you're going to meditate.
Yeah, exactly. The we need to normalize looking after our mind just like we look after our body. And I think it's initially it takes a little bit of commitment to do it, but once you study the benefits and also feel the benefits for yourself, you're going to realize that, okay, it's something I need to do. And I really recommend you being as consistent as possible because actually the method is really easy if you understand the just finding the balance between being relaxed and mindful together, or sometimes you can say conscious and comfortable. But the thing is, uh, the hardest thing of meditation is not the practice, but the consistency. And
Mhm,
just like exercise, right? Sometimes the first step is to get yourself to the gym or start to work out, and then it kind of gets easier as it becomes a habit and becomes almost like you can't miss it and you want to do it. And this is even more so with meditation because you're gonna feel that happiness and you're gonna have um, you're gonna not only see the happiness within yourself, but the impact of yourself around other people.
mhm.
So
Thank you, Venerable. All right. And then the next question is, why do I always feel sleepy when I meditate? So maybe like how, you know, this can be what this person can do to prevent the sleepiness.
a great question. I'm sure everyone here has felt sleepy sometimes during meditation, myself included. So it's not um, something to be annoyed about. It's just you practice okay, correctly. And one of the side effects is you feel really relaxed. So it's very easy for us to fall asleep sometimes in meditation. So there's a couple of things that generally cause you to feel sleepy in meditation. And a lot of it is physical, meaning that how did you prepare yourself to come to the meditation? Physically, as we, go throughout our day, a lot of things that we've measured it down to is basically how late you sleep, how much physical activity you do can have a huge impact on when you come and meditate, are you going to feel sleepy? Also, as maybe not tonight because, or maybe some of us, if you had a heavy dinner and you come to meditate, it's very easy to fall asleep as well. So these are physically has a huge impact on if you're going to fall asleep, if you feel sleepy. So
Mhm,
there's a couple of things I would like you to go and check is physically, how is your sleep? Are you sleeping later than 10 o'clock, maybe 11 midnight every day, maybe even later than that? If you sleep late, when we come to meditate, there's a good chance you're gonna feel sleepy as
mhm,
well as how much you eat can have a big impact or how much physical activity you did. But in the case where you can't control those factors and you come to meditate, what do? We have three techniques, right? Visualization, mantra, and just relaxing. So it's about picking the right tool for the right job. So when you take a moment to observe yourself before you meditate and you feel sleepy, I recommend you use the mantra or visualization or even both to add more awareness to your meditation because you already have the sleepy part, you already have the relaxation part, but you need to add the mindfulness part in that case.
Mm.
So hopefully you got the idea.
Yeah, thank you, Pete. That actually makes good recommendation. So this next question is from Charity Sills, and the question is it okay to lie down while meditating? And especially this person, considering there's injuries, or is it more powerful to sit up?
Oh, to a lot. I think in this case, in general, I wouldn't recommend you to lay down to meditate in a sleeping position. Only if unless in this case, like you said, is if you have injuries or you're physically like unable to sit up or yeah, to sit up because in this case, yes, it's okay to lie down and but if we in a normal situation, I would recommend you to sit up just because it helps you to find that balance between being conscious with comfort and being mindful and relaxed together. It's easier when you're sitting in a position or not necessarily lying down because when you're lying down, just like the question before this, it's very easy to fall asleep. So it depends. It depends on your physical condition. But in this case, please feel free if you are in if you have an injury like this.
Mhm. So it is still possible, though, correct, Venerable,
Yeah,
to meditate lying down. You just have to be more aware because if you're not, you're going to fall asleep.
exactly.
Okay. This is an interesting question, Lone P. It's a question slash experience. So this person felt very cold, like chills on the arms, but it was very blissful in meditation. And wondering if this is a cleansing of energy or just relaxation, like the temperature dropped. This has happened a few times during meditation.
Mm, very good example and question. I would like for those of us in Thailand right now, it's very hot. So if you can get that experience, that's great. You can feel cool and have your own personal
Air
air
condition.
conditioning. Right now, it's very hot. But anyway, it's a very good experience, okay? If you feel uh, the key thing is not only with any sensation, whether it's a cold feeling, some people feel warm, some people even feel hot. But the key thing I would like to ask you back is, other than that sensation, is how did you feel? Which in this case, if you felt, in this case where you said that you feel blissful, you feel, and you have relaxation, that is the key that to check yourself that is it a good experience or is it a positive experience? So you can say it's similar to what's actually cleansing you is not necessarily just the sensation, but also the feeling of relaxation and that you have the blissfulness too. So I would say that it's a result that you're practicing in the right method and just keep going with that sensation and see where it's going to take you. It's definitely the feeling of relaxation, the feeling of blissfulness, as well as the product of being cool and feeling more cool is all in the right direction. So please keep going and spread your coolness and your uh, yeah, your coolness to not only yourself but the people around you. Maybe uh, the people next to you can get closer to feel some of that coolness too.
So, Venerable, here is a more of a comment, I think. So maybe you can give more insight if this is kind of what happens when you meditate. But it's from Scott. And he says that he finds that when he meditates and he's at work, he's more in tune with himself and his surroundings. He also feels like things click easier when he meditates daily.
Yes, it's actually I'm glad that you mentioned it, so it's not just me saying it, but um, as we meditate more, we develop mindfulness. Not only that, but not mindfulness just of what you're doing, but uh, it's a focus where you feel also relaxed. So it's not like another focus where we're dialed in on what we're doing and we feel stressed. So when we meditate, we get that um, we develop the skill to observe things relaxingly, but also be in you can call it like neutral observation, where you observe something, but you can be in the right position to observe it correctly with a good perspective, with a clear perspective. So that's why I recommend actually in the slide where I said that to find your inner smile and to relight your inner sun before you do anything, meaning that you center yourself, and by practicing meditation daily, you're going to become just like Scott and be able to be in tune with yourself and also what you're doing more. To put it simply, you become more present. A lot of us, we live our life in the future and in the past, and we aren't present of what we're doing. We're not fully present. So when we meditate, we are able to stay more present and, like you said, be in tune with how you're feeling and realize and how to adjust correctly. So yes, that's why I recommend everyone to please practice daily, and you're going to see many more profound benefits just like this.
Thank you, Venerable. Looks like that was our last question, unless anyone else has anything they want to share before we
I
wrap up
see.
today's session.
Someone said, should you face east with meditation?
Ah,
From Evangela. I would say that you can face any direction. I mean, face this direction that you feel comfortable in, and it depends on where you are. Sometimes it depends on the feeling you have. Is the most important. It doesn't necessarily have to be a certain position. In, like, for example, when I am in my in the temple, there is a big jariya, or a big stupa that we pay respect to. So sometimes I like to face in that direction because mentally I feel more comfortable, but it doesn't mean necessarily that I have to face that way, but it depends on you. It depends on you.
mm.
And you can
um,
face any direction.
but Venerable, isn't there some benefit to sitting in the lotus position? I mean, ideally, you want to be comfortable, but is there a benefit essentially to sitting in a lotus position versus like a chair?
Um, there's benefits, of course. It's a standard position for a reason. And if you can train yourself to be able to sit on the floor and sit in the lotus position, there's benefits, for example, increased awareness, and if you can really keep your back straight comfortably, it helps to reduce the stress on your back to almost be zero if you can
Mhm.
stay in. But for a beginner, or perhaps when you first start out, it's always important just to find a position that works for you and gradually work towards that if you really want it to be a goal.
Mhm.
And yeah, like for
Yeah,
me, I couldn't sit on that way for a while, but it took a while to adjust.
right. I'm always very stubborn. Like I like to kind of test things that I'm told. And I did try the chair and I'm like, yeah, I could sit in the chair just as well as sitting on the ground in the lotus position. And then I tried it and then I learned why. You have to try it for yourself for you to figure out what works for you. Because after 40 minutes, my head kind of like went down and I almost fell off the chair. So I was like, oh, that's why I should sit on the floor. Okay, so Venerable, another question that just came through. It the question is, what are the different type of levels of meditation, and how can we tell if we've reached the next level of meditation? Very good question. Save the best for last.
Great question. Um, to put it simply, there is many levels of meditation that we can attain, but for now, I would treat meditation not necessarily are we there yet. It's not like a race to the destination. If we treat meditation that way, it's gonna feel we might feel bored or we might get dissatisfied with our experience. And what I've been practicing and what our master would tell us is that we will know for ourselves when we get to the end, right? So, but we shouldn't sit there waiting like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Because if we sit like that, we're not gonna enjoy our meditation. So when we practice, treat meditation like harvesting happiness, meaning that your goal for meditation now and every session when you start should just be to relax so we can feel happiness from our meditation. And as we feel relaxed, we feel happiness, our mind is becoming more clear and bright and more purified. So the main goal to meditate is to purify your mind, to clear your mind, and fill it with happiness and purity. So that to feel are you at the next level is just to measure that feeling of happiness, that feeling of purity, that every time you meditate, do you feel that level increasing? Because that's the foundation that is going to take you to the next higher level of meditation. If you speak it in Buddhist terms of attaining enlightenment or attaining a deeper, as we say, okay, enlightenment is the highest goal. The foundation to get to that is you have to have a clear mind, a pure mind, a happy mind. So let's focus on the feeling first and measure the feeling for yourself. Every time you meditate, do you feel that feeling increasing? If so, that means you're on the right path and you're getting, if you want to call it the next level of meditation, is that the feeling increased.
Mm.
And as the feeling increases, that purity increases, you're going to see and experience the levels of meditation for yourself. As I think Jessie mentioned earlier, she said she can feel and see the brightness within herself. So that's something that we have to experience for ourselves, and it's something that I also put to, like, I think like B just said, like, you're stubborn, right? And you want to
Mhm.
test it for yourself. So that's the key of meditation, or of anything actually, is to test it for yourself. And you're gonna, if you just follow that feeling of relaxation of and purity of happiness, you're gonna be able to test it for yourself and experience it for yourself.
Mhm. And that's the thing, Venerable, is it's great because you have the guidance and because our teachers tell us all the same things. And then if you test it, then you're like, oh, that's why they say that. You know, it just
I
makes it more efficient when you have the proper guidance. But still, people are stubborn. They want to see for
Yeah, I,
themselves.
I would say just for now, your best guide is you can feel for yourself if you're on the right path.
Mhm.
Listen to your body, listen to your feeling. If you're
Mhm.
meditating correctly, your body is gonna react a certain way, and how you feel, you're gonna feel a certain way. So if you're meditating wrong, your body is gonna tell you first, right? You're gonna feel tension, you're gonna feel stress, and also mentally you're gonna feel that way too. Or so just pay more attention to yourself, and that can also be a guide. Actually, one of the best guides
Right.
um, to
Definitely.
to be aware of how you're feeling. And if you feel that balance between being mindful and relaxed or being conscious with comfort, that means you're okay. Everything's okay. But again, one of the obstacles is doubt. Yeah. So that's why it's always good to come and meditate together. And if you have any questions, don't be scared to ask, because sometimes we have that doubt. Are we practicing correctly? And we, my job is to reassure you and also the monks that practice to reassure you that, okay, you're on the right path.
Right. And I always learn so much just listening to your answers from the questions because you always add some sort of insight that I didn't really ever think of. So thank you, Venerable. I hope other people feel the same, but your answers are always very profound and simple, but yet inspiring at the same time. So thank you. So Venerable, that wraps it up. It is 10:32. So everyone, thank you so much. As my teachers like to say, sleep in a sea of merit. We'll see you next Friday for Earth Day meditation. Please join us. It's going to be super special. And then, of course, the following full moon next month on May 16th. Thank you, everyone. Namaskaran, Venerable Daniel.
Thank you, everyone, and hope to see everyone in the next full moon and also on
Thank
the
you.
22nd.
Yes. Namaskaran, Pete.
Atu.